Okay, in this video I'm very quickly going to discuss a few concepts. The first concept that you wanted me to talk about was overheating, remember? Right? So overheating is related to the concept of inflation in demand side economics. Okay? So what did we say? We said there were we were faced with two graphs. One is aggregate demand, one is aggregate supply. Okay, if the government applies expansionary fiscal policy, the aggregate demand curve will go up, shift outward. Okay, now when it shifts outward, your GDP goes up. GDP rises from GDP to GDP dash, right? But when GDP increases because of the increase in aggregate demand, the GDP increases, the inflation also increases. The general price levels, okay? The general price levels go up. Now, here is the rule. Inflation is growth killer. GDP increase represents growth. Now, if this growth is 7% and increase in inflation is 3%, your net growth is 4% because 3% inflation is killing the growth. The government should continue to apply expansionary fiscal policy. Why? Because this is good. Growth is, I'm getting 4% net growth, right? But if the situation reverses, the situation now is that yes, the economy is growing all right, but the economy is growing at a rate of 4%. But inflation is increasing. This is GDP growth. GDP is increasing at the rate of 4%, but inflation is increasing at the rate of 7%. So now what's happening? Your growth in the GDP is 4%, inflation is 7%, so your net growth is a negative 3%, which means your economy has actually shrunk by 3%. This situation, when inflation rate goes above the GDP growth rate, this situation is called overheating. And it is in this situation that the government can employ contractionary fiscal policy to bring the aggregate demand curve back and reduce overheating. Okay, so thank you very much for this.